Hey guys, happy Thursday. Welcome to our monthly Shred 10 call. I'm super excited to get on tonight because we just had a group finish yesterday and we have gotten so many great responses from everybody. So I kind of get really excited about doing the Shred call every month because we just finished a group and everybody's on a high from finishing from this past 10 days. And it gets me even more excited to talk about it because a lot of us that are on this call are just super passionate about what the Shred does for people. So welcome everybody to the call. If you don't know anything about the Shred, you'll learn hopefully everything you need to know tonight. And thank you to the people that invited them to them. So this is a really fun, relaxed call, and we're going to talk about the Shred. We're going to hear what it's all about. We're going to hear a few stories, and then anybody at the end is welcome to ask questions if you have questions at the end. So you'll be able to unmute yourselves at the end in order to do that. So just to start, I'll give you a little background about myself. My name is Allison. For those that don't know me, I am a mom of two. I have a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old, forgetting their ages. I have a 7th grader and a freshman in high school, and then a wonderful husband that I've been married to for 18 years. So my health journey, to give you a little background about myself, my health journey started about 8 years ago when I was suffering from chronic neck pain. And I basically lived with that chronic neck pain for 2 years. I was in pain for 2 years. It was definitely not a fun time in my life. And I spent a lot of those years seeing doctors and specialists and getting all sorts of tests done, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. And it was very frustrating. People would just tell me I was stressed. They said, we don't know what's wrong with you. We can't answer your questions. They wanted to give me cortisone shots for no reason. And I was getting really frustrated. So I started to kind of be my own doctor, and with a little bit of research and talking to a naturopath and a chiropractor that I was seeing at the time, they recommended food elimination to me. And it was pretty scary for me at the time because I love food and I love to cook, and I'm a foodie. I love my pasta. I love my bread. I love all of this stuff. But they talked about food elimination. So they said, how about eliminating gluten for a little bit? And I would try that. And my pain would go away a little bit, but it would still be there. And then I tried dairy for a while. And again, I would maybe feel a little bit better, but the pain wasn't really going away. Until one day, somebody mentioned to me, I want you to get rid of all of these inflammatory foods at once. I want you to get rid of gluten. I want you to get rid of dairy. I want you to get rid of sugar. And I looked at them like, what? You want me to do what? Like you can't do that. That's basically everything that I eat, right? So it was kind of scary, but I decided I was at my wit's end. I wanted to feel better. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I have to do this for myself. So I actually did a 21-day cleanse where I eliminated all these inflammatory foods. And it was the first time in almost 2.5 years that I no longer had any neck pain. All that inflammation was gone and all of my pain was gone. And then I lived in denial that it was the food because, again, I love food. So I would add the food back in and I would be in pain again. And then I would take the food out and the pain would go away. So I probably spent about a year doing that. And I realized that it was food. And what we don't realize a lot of times is that food is, number one, it's causing inflammation. The food that we're eating today is not the food that our parents and grandparents were eating. There's a lot of chemicals in foods. We're dealing with GMOs. A lot of our food is just not pure, whole, unprocessed food. And we've kind of gotten into that easy, convenient, processed food world. And we don't realize it's causing so many issues. So at the time before the Shred was introduced to me, again, my neck pain was gone, but I was still not feeling fantastic. I was still getting sick all the time. I was still having skin issues. I was tired all the time. And everyone used to just say to me, well, you've got little kids, you should be tired. I was grumpy. I just wasn't feeling great. And when the Shred was introduced to me, the same time as the Juice Plus products, which we'll talk about later, everything changed for me. So it wasn't just the it wasn't just the food, but it was also, even though I was eating healthy, I still wasn't getting all of the nutrients into my body that I needed. I wasn't getting in enough fruits and vegetables. I still wasn't eating all the right foods. So the Shred introduced this whole new world to me of making sure that I was fueling my body with what my body needed, not just to get rid of my pain, but to also, I had energy. All of a sudden I had this energy that I didn't know what to do with. And I was sleeping better and my mood was better. I've just become this happier person. So, and we all want to be happier people, right? I think when we feel healthy, then we start to become happier people and life just changes. It's this really cool thing. So that's kind of where my story is. And so you're probably all here to hear about what the Shred is, right? So we're going to talk about what the Shred is. So the Shred is not, it's a Shred 10. It's not 10 days of shredding 10 pounds. It's 10 days of shredding unhealthy habits. So during that time, we're eliminating bad habits and we're adding in a lot of really great healthy habits. So some of the rules, some of them I mentioned with the food. So during the 10 days, we're eliminating gluten. So you think of your pastas, your breads, there's a lot of snacks, crackers, things like that have gluten in it. We're eliminating dairy during that time, and we're eliminating any processed sugars. So a lot of people think of that and they're like, okay, that sounds really hard. But we have so much support during this that we help you. We have tons of recipes, tons of ideas, and we focus on not what we can't eat, but what we can eat. And there's so many great, yummy food options out there. It's because we're focusing on those whole unprocessed foods. So fruits, vegetables, beans, and gluten-free grains like rice and quinoa, and carbs like sweet potatoes and regular potatoes, things like that. So there's tons and tons of food that we can eat, and that's what we focus on during that time. So we're eliminating gluten, we're eliminating dairy, and we're eliminating processed sugar. We're also eliminating caffeine, which I know is really hard for people because people are used to having their coffee every morning, and then we're also eliminating alcohol, which I know is another hard one for people because everyone likes to have their glass of wine at night or on the weekend. So we want to really see how our body is doing off stimulants during that time. I think a lot of times with caffeine, for example, people wake up in the morning and they're like, oh, I'm so tired, I need my coffee. And that's just something that your body is used to having. Your body is telling you, oh, well, I have coffee every morning. My body needs coffee, so that's what I'm going to drink every morning, and then I'm going to feel good. And then all of a sudden you have this afternoon crash and you feel like you need more coffee. Whereas when you start to fuel your body with whole foods and really healthy, good foods, your body starts to get used to having that energy by eating the foods that it needs and not relying on caffeine. So what you'll find is you won't have that afternoon crash because you're continuing to fuel your body all day with all of these great foods, and you just kind of sustain this great energy level during the day. And it's actually a really cool process. My husband and I eliminated caffeine probably 9 years ago, and I've never looked back. Neither of us have ever looked back. And it's really one of the best things that we ever did for ourselves. And then, yes, we do eliminate alcohol during the 10 days. It's only one weekend. So we always say everybody can make it one weekend. You can do anything for 10 days. So no wine, no beer, no margaritas, anything like that during the 10 days. So those are the things that we are eliminating during that time. And then we're also adding in a bunch of really great things. So one big thing is staying hydrated. So we're adding a ton of water in, making sure we stay hydrated during the day. We're adding in exercise. And that's whatever it is for you. That can be, maybe you go to the gym all the time and that's great. Or maybe you just want to go for a walk. Maybe you're in a really warm climate like Amanda and you want to go for a bike ride, or a swim, anything, yoga, Pilates, cycling, spinning, whatever it is that you love, and if you've never done any exercise before, you know, getting up and going for a walk is really a great thing, like getting some fresh air outside. Or we actually have online, we have these workouts now that we can share online on our Healthy Living Revolution website, which is really cool. And they have all different levels from beginners, you know, to advanced, and they're kind of short little clips that you can just do at home. So that's a really cool thing too. So we want to add in some exercise when we can. And then we are also focusing on sleep. Sleep is a big thing, right, for health for everybody. So the more we sleep, the healthier we are. It gives our brains a rest. It gives our bodies a rest. And so we're trying to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. So we do want to focus on sleep during the 10 days also. And those are the things we're adding in. So we're adding in water, we're adding in exercise, and also the sleep. And then one last thing that we try to do during the 10 days is not eat past 6 o'clock at night. And I know that can be really tough for some people. It seems early, especially, you know, if you're a busy mom. And I know for me, I'm running around with my kids all the time for afternoon activities. So the 6 o'clock deadline can be tough, but it is totally doable with some planning and things like that. We always say 6:30. And, you know, the reasoning for that is that you really want to give your body time to rest and digest. So I don't know about you, but when I eat late and then I go right to bed, I don't sleep well, right? You can keep waking up, you're not feeling well, and then in the morning you wake up and you almost have that bloated kind of yucky feeling. So we want to give our bodies time during these 10 days to really rest and digest. So even if you can't make that 6:30 time slot, it's okay if you eat a little bit later. We kind of say give your body about 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. So it gives that time for rest, and then about, you know, at least 12 hours between meals from the time that you finish eating at night to when you're eating in the morning. So even if you're not making that 6:30 time slot, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, but you do want to give your body time before you go to bed to digest. So those are kind of the major aspects of the Shred. And then we're also adding in our Juice Plus products. So I'll just show you them here. We're adding in our capsules, and Julie's going to talk about what these products are, but we're adding in these Juice Plus products. They're basically fruits and vegetables in a capsule. We have our fruits, our veggies, and our berries. And then we're also adding in 2 shakes a day. So these are our Juice Plus shakes. They come in little packets or bigger bags also. They come in chocolate and vanilla. And we're adding in 2 shakes a day during that time. So 2 smoothies a day. And you can take these, and we have so many recipes to share. We add lots of fruits and greens and nut butters and all sorts of yummy things to add to these shakes. And these are filled with tons of fruits and vegetables and superfoods and things like that. So not only are you fueling your body with tons of whole foods and, you know, really healthy meals, because we do focus on food and you do eat on this. You know, you want to be eating meals and eating really good food, but we're also adding in our Juice Plus products on top of that to give yourself even more amazing nutrition during the 10 days and then beyond the 10 days. So that's a really great thing. And then the shakes, you know, they can be used as a meal or they can be used as a snack. So we are adding in 2 shakes a day. I know when I do the Shred, I usually do 1 shake as a meal and 1 shake as a snack. And then I still have 2 bigger meals during the day. So there's lots of ways to work it. Everybody has a different schedule. So there's no set, you have a shake for breakfast, and then you have lunch, and then you have another shake in the afternoon, and then you have dinner. It's kind of all up to you, and we talk about all the different options and ways that you can work it so it works into your schedule. We have people that come on that are nurses that work overnight, and they've got crazy schedules, and we always figure out a way for everybody to work it into their schedule. So it is super flexible and doable for really anybody. So with that said, I am going to pass it over to Julie, and she is actually going to talk specifics about our products.
Hello. As Allison said, my name is Julie, and I'm here to talk about these. So what these are they are real whole food in the capsule. It's basically farm to capsule. Okay, they have a nutrition label. It's not a vitamin label or a supplement label with a warning. It is all nutrition, just like any food that you get in the grocery store, it's a nutrition label. What they are is they are 30 different between the three. This is our trio, and that's all three of them. 30 different fruits and veggies are vine ripened. They are then picked at their peak and juiced, like a cold pressed juice. They're juiced and then dried at temperature safe enough to keep all the nutrients in, but release some of the sugars. And then that powder, once it's dried, is put into a capsule. They are bioavailable, which means they go right into your bloodstream. It's not like when you take a vitamin and your pee is yellow, bright yellow. They go right into your bloodstream and start working right away. They are gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, wheat-free, caffeine-free, herb-free, no artificial flavors, no preservatives, no colors, nothing. They are NSF certified, which means they are 100% clean. Each batch is tested to be 100% clean of all chemicals, pesticides, everything. So that's our capsules. And then our shakes, as Allison said, she had the small packets. These are the big pouches. These shakes contain 13 grams of protein, 8 grams of fiber. Okay, they are filled with fruits, veggies, and superfoods. They come in chocolate and vanilla. And as Allison said, you can they taste great as, just if you mix with almond milk or even with water. Or you can add stuff and make some really yummy shakes as well. But they are non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free. They're low glycemic. They are just filled with a ton of stuff that you wouldn't normally get. There's organic, proprietary ancient grain and sprout blend, broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprout, radish sprout, amaranth, quinoa, millet, pumpkin powder, pomegranate powder, spirulina powder. There's so much good stuff in these, and they're delicious. So that's it. I think I am passing to Jen now to tell her story, her experience with a shred.
Thanks, Julie.
Hi.
Hi, Jen.
Okay, please forgive me. This is the first time I've done this, and it's very odd. So I learned about your company through Becky, and I tried my first shred, just finished my third. So the reason I did this was because I realized I was just feeling like crap all the time for no particular reason. As obnoxious as it is, I've been the same size since high school. I've been pretty active my whole life. I've grown up in the Central Valley of California where the food is abundant and good. So nutrition hasn't really been my problem, except I felt like crap all the time. And then I realized that my gallbladder was bad and wound up in the hospital after weird pain that had persisted off and on randomly for like 10 years. So I decided to find out what it would be like to take away all of the stuff, all of the gluten, all of the things that I know are inflammatory. But you talked about being in denial that it was the food. I had that too. I do everything right. I shouldn't be feeling like crap. So I tried it, and all of the things they talk about really happened. I gave up caffeine, which was scary. And I had a headache, a horrible headache for a day, and then it went away. I replaced it though. You have to have that ritual in the morning, and I have that ritual of a warm beverage. So I just tried it. I just tried the lemon water and ginger, and it's delicious. So that has become my new go-to. And I just started really folding it into my mindfulness practice of life. I'm starting to pay attention to my body more than that liar in my head that tells me, no, you need that, you need that. I just became more conscious and intentional with my food. I've learned a ton. The shakes really are really good. I made a pudding the other day. It was wild, and it was just chocolate pudding. So I'm having a really good time playing around with that, playing around with ingredients, and being really intentional with it. I don't know what else I can tell you. I haven't been perfect with all three of them. But it's fun to build on it. The website is really helpful, and everybody's got encouraging words and ideas for something you may haven't tried. I've been learning about all kinds of new food. What is this kombucha stuff I keep hearing about? So, I'm like, I'm a believer. So the first shred I did was the most successful. And the 6th day I walked into the kitchen, and I kid you not, my husband says, "Oh my gosh, your skin looks so great." I started sleeping better. I wasn't falling into bed at night, just exhausted. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. So, it's craziness around them. And I found myself waking up, like finishing sleeping in the morning, if that makes any sense. I wasn't like having to wake up. I was just awake. There was a clarity that I found by the 6th or 7th day too. The best way I can describe it, it's like still waters are clear. And I noticed that when I was eating, I wasn't getting so full, like it's like sitting in me. I don't know. It's just been a really cool experience, and I'm gonna keep annoying everybody on the website too. So I don't want to take up too much time, but that's my story. I'm in it for the long haul, I think.
That's awesome, Jen. Thank you so much. I love, there's a couple things you said, and I think that for a lot of people, we just don't realize how good our bodies can feel until we try something like this. Until you eliminate that stuff, you don't know kind of what you're missing. So I think that's pretty awesome. And then, you had also mentioned that you weren't perfect every single one of them, and that's totally okay, because even small little changes result in huge changes down the line. And, we always say we focus on progress and not perfection, which is really great. And then, can you guys hear me okay? I'm hearing like a weird thing in the background. Okay. And then that mental clarity. I think I've kind of felt that same thing too. It's like every time I shred, all of a sudden my mind just seems clearer. I can think clearer. I don't know. It's a really cool thing to experience. So thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. And then we're going to pass it off to Stacy next.
Yeah. Can you guys all hear me? Just make sure my phone isn't doing something weird. Yeah. Okay. So I am going to talk about my shred story, but my shred story is a little unique from some of the others in just that I decided when I saw all of these random posts from someone on our team about the Shred10 program, I couldn't find it, and I was looking for a program. So I reached out to Hillary, who's not on our call tonight, but I reached out to her and asked her all about it. And the goal for me was, I've done all sorts of, clean eating and detoxes and juice cleanses and things like that. I had a goal. I had my son's bar mitzvah was coming up 3 weeks before the first shred I did started. And because my husband and I were both looking for something to clean up our diet to feel better with, Hillary had kind of convinced me it didn't take much, but I was buying enough product to get started that she said, you know what, Stacy, if you love the product as much as I do, and I know you will, after you go through the shred, you're going to want to know about the business. So, and that's how I got started. I jumped into the business and the shred at the same time, not having any idea about anything. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know anything about the business. I was just like, I literally jumped into head first into cold water. So I went through the shred. My husband and I did it for 10 days. And, like all the stories that you kind of heard already, we immediately noticed changes in our body, in our mood, in our sleep. for me, I've had stomach issues and I've had migraines and headaches, and all of that stuff cleared away. We were feeling so good that we extended it and did it for 20 days. And by the time my son's bar mitzvah rolled around, people really noticed that something was different. And they were asking us, what are you doing? And it became a natural thing for me to share what I did at the Shred, which is how we share our business. So you share your story about how you feel. Like, Jen said so many incredible things that her story just speaks and is relatable to people. And that's all I did, is I was sharing how I felt from doing the Shred and how my husband had felt and the things that we saw and the changes we've had in our family. And it just kind of spiraled for me into this booming business. And, I couldn't be more excited about that. This is an amazing community of like-minded people, and whether you're female, which we're a lot of, or male, it's such an amazing experience to go through a Shred with a group of people who are there to support you the whole time and to give you advice and to throw up any random question. It's like no questions wrong on our Shred10 page. You can ask anything, like kombucha, what is that? Is that Shred friendly? And getting all kinds of great advice, great recipes, and learning about new things that are out there that you never knew even existed and how good they can be for you. So that is my story in a nutshell. I know we're trying to keep this pretty short. So I'm going to send it back over to Allison, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Stacy. I love that. I think for a lot of us too, we come on and we do it and we all love it so much. We just want to tell the world about it, and we want to tell everybody about it because we want everybody to feel good and we want everybody to be happy. And, Stacy mentioned our community, which is what I wanted to touch on really quickly before we go to questions, if anybody has any questions. But we do have this amazing Facebook community that we have on the Shred. So when you decide to do the Shred, everybody gets added to our Shred10 Facebook group. And once you're added to the page, it's really cool. Once you're added to the page, you're there forever. So we have people that do a Shred, and then a month later, they decide to do it again. Or maybe 3 months later, they decide to do it again. Or who knows, maybe a year later, they decide to do it again. But every month, new people come in and new questions are asked, and we're always learning something new, and somebody's always sharing a new recipe, and we come up with lots of great new ideas. So it's really cool. So once you're in our community, you're kind of in there forever, and we love for everybody to add in and comment and share and do all this great stuff. So we do have that fantastic Facebook community, which I love. And then along with that too, we have lots of guides that we send to everybody. So I just have their email to you, but I have some printed copies here. We have a Shred10 cooking guide that we send to everybody. It's filled with just tons and tons of recipes. And then we also have our regular Shred10 guide, which kind of goes over all the ins and outs of the Shred, why we shred, what it's doing, in our bodies, for our bodies, why we eliminate gluten and dairy and all of those great things. And then that has some recipes in it also. And then we also have this great Healthy Living Revolution cookbook, which again is filled with even more recipes. And then we have some smoothie recipe guides too that we send out too. So whoever introduces you to the Shred emails you all of this stuff. We've got videos you can watch. You definitely will be in the know of what you're doing. You'll never feel lost. You'll never feel alone or, ever during our group. So, and we have a ton of fun, don't we? We have a ton of fun. So we laugh, we joke. Somebody recently asked if we could use extracts like vanilla extract and almond extract in the shake. And I was like, because there's alcohol in it and we eliminate alcohol. And I said, yep, that's okay. As long as you're not like downing bottles because you can't have your wine on the weekend. So, we do have fun. We do joke around. We have a good time. So we're not all serious all the time. People, they come on and they're like, oops, I had a glass of wine last night. I couldn't help myself. And we're like, you know what? It's okay. You made the choice to do it. You get back on, and we're not about perfection. We're not going to slap you on the back of the hand if you decide, to have a cup of coffee one morning or something like that. We're all about progress. We all want to see everybody succeed, and we all want to see everybody just feeling good, like we said, feeling healthier, feeling happier, and just just being a healthier person. So with that said, I am going to open it up for questions. I will, I'll unmute everybody here if I can, or you can unmute yourselves if you have any questions. There, I just unmuted everyone. Anyone have any questions? Anyone? Anyone? No? All right. So with that said, we will we'll end the call. I just want to thank everybody for coming on, everybody that participated. If you were asked to come on the call to listen, thank you for joining in. We appreciate you guys coming on. If the shred is something that you're interested in, you can talk to the person that invited you to the call, or if you're watching this call after the fact because it was recorded, you can talk to the person that sent you the call. Our next shred starts Monday, March 5th. So that's our next one. So, you know, typically if you're going to join in on the shred, you want to make sure you order at least, you know, at least like 7 days prior, like a week prior to that. You want to make sure that you get your order in so you have everything on time and you get all the guides and everything emailed to you. So March 5th is when we're starting. And if no one has any more questions, I am going to stop the recording.